fan of softball, then you are going to love the Fastpitch TV show. We're bringing you more interviews, more videos, and more product reviews than anyone else on the planet. Sit back and get ready. Here's the Fastpitch TV show.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Fastpitch TV show. Now, if you found us on Facebook or another video sharing site, please check out our website. It's located at fastpitch.tv. It's the place to find all of our past episodes and the place to keep up with our future episodes, too. I'd also like to thank our sponsor, Softball Junk. Now, please visit their website at, well, of course, softballjunk.com. Now, at the end of today's show, I'm going to give you a special code that'll give you $20 off softball bats on their website. So stay tuned for that code. Now, before I get into today's show, I want to make sure that everyone who watches this show knows that we just added a new forum board to the Fastpitch TV show website. It seems to be really getting pretty popular pretty quick. Now, you can find yourself interested, if you find yourself interested in discussing softball, or just reading some people's posts that they've written about softball. There's some pretty good information going on in there. Just go to fastpitch.tv/forum and check it out for yourself and see what you think. Now, a few weeks ago, I was in Round Rock, Texas for the NPF, the National Pro Fastpitch Games between the Chicago Bandits, Jenny Finch pitches for, and the USSA Pride, which Cat Osterman pitches for. While I was hanging out one morning in my hotel, I ran into the owner of the Chicago Bandits, Bill Sokolis. And I know I pronounced that wrong, sorry, Bill. But Bill was kind enough to spend a few minutes of his time on an interview. So let's not waste any more time. Let's go right to the interview. Gosh, I want to thank you for meeting me out here and taking the time to talk with me. We're down here in Round Rock, Texas. Great event last night. Y'all had a big win. And tell me about it.
Well, you know, when we get together with the Pride, it's always a real cat and mouse. So it was a good win for us. The team the night before looked a little flat. Came out all guns firing last night, so it was exciting. I just love good softball. So. Well,
I was talking to your head coach a few minutes ago, Mickey, and we were talking. You know, if you're in the Chicago area and you like softball, you can't really get a better value than coming to see the Chicago Bandits for the price and as intimate as you can get with the players.
No, you're not going to see better softball anywhere. I mean, internationally, anywhere. It doesn't matter. These are the best softball athletes in the United States. Actually, probably in America, but in all of the world. But for the value, to see Jenny Finch's and Cat Osterman's and Monica Abbott's and Jessica Mendoza's and Stacy May's playing softball for $5 or $10 a seat, you can't ask for better entertainment.
And it's going to be a good seat. It's not like you're going to be up in the nosebleed area.
You know, that's one of the things that's a difference in the stadiums. It's only 200-foot venue. So even if you get an outfield seat, you're right on top of the game. It's actually very cozy atmosphere. So, baseball, you get in the outfield, you feel like you're detached from it, where 200 feet out from home plate, you can still see the batter's face.
In baseball, not only could you be out in the outfield out of it, you could be on a third level up in the outfield.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from the baseball stadiums. I mean, but softball is just more of a cozy, you're more part of the team atmosphere. So
now you mentioned Jenny Finch and Cat Osterman. What's that going to mean to the Bandits losing Jenny Finch as a player?
Well, I'm not going to say that we're losing her. She'll always be a Bandit. I'm toying with things like ownership and for her in Chicago, and Jenny will always be part. I'm dear friends with her aside from softball, so I'm always going to have a contact with her and Casey. So I don't think she'll leave the playing surface, but she's not going to leave the game. And I'm looking very forward to that.
And what made you decide to get into ownership of the Bandits, get into softball to begin with?
Well, I was blessed with 3 daughters, and so I how does a dad relate to his daughters and try and do it in a way that he knows, and I was always brought up in sports. So I got him involved in Little League baseball and softball, and it just grew from there. I started a travel program that grew to, 160 kids, and I just really loved it. And then the other side of it is I think the women get shorted in professional sports and actually all the way up the line, high school, college, all of it. So one of my traits is that I'm very competitive, and if I'm taking the women against the men, I want them to be treated equal, and I really have a strong passion about that, and that's really what got me to go to the pros, because I wanted to say that I was involved in equalizing or at least leveling some of the playing field. It's been a tough road because it is such a men-dominated. The sports is men-dominated, but it's starting to peek its head through. We're getting a lot of media coverage now. We're getting a lot of recognition. Us playing the men's teams in Chicago has really helped out a lot because we've won 2 out of the 3 games. So I mean, we're making strides, but they're not huge strides, not as big as I'd like. And then the NPF is making strides as well. So.
Now, not being or ever going to the game you're talking about when you play the men, how does that work? I mean, are you using a softball, using a baseball, using both fields? Are you pitching from 43 feet? Give us just a quick rundown on that, because I don't even know.
Okay, actually it is a softball game. They play with wooden bats, so they use their bats. They do hire legitimate professional pitchers for the game. They pitch from the same 43 feet that we do. They play by our rules. Everything is our rules. So, we're taking, they have an advantage because of their strength and their agility, but we circumvent that by playing our game.
So you're using the wooden bats, so you're using the men's bats. They use wooden bats. And you're using the composite bats.
We use our bats.
And then they bring in professional softball pitchers. They don't have guys that are throwing overhanded saying, well, I think I can do this.
No. They actually, for that day, bring in professional pitchers. The one guy he's played on 2 teams against us is this Blackshaw. And I think the only one that's gotten a hit is Sam Finley. She got a triple off of him.
Oh, they're bringing in men's fast pitch pitchers.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we're not talking, okay. So we're talking a little bit even tougher to hit, a little more speed, a little more strength.
This guy throws the ball in the upper 80s, and he gets the men crow hop. We call it crow hop.
Right.
So it brings them that much closer to the plate. So, and it's hard for them to transition into the women's delivery. They can't drag their foot. All the rules that are placed on the women, the men can't do. They're used to hopping off the mound. And so, that's a real tough thing for them, which is a big advantage to them. And he was throwing a ball probably, I would say, in the lower mid 80s. And Sam finally stuck the bat out there and cranked one over. Would have been over any softball regulation fence, but we played with no fences. So she got a triple out of it. But a lot of fun. A lot of jokes going back and forth, a lot of camaraderie between the girls and the players, and so it was good.
What's the biggest change you've seen in NPF from the time you got involved with the Bandits till now?
I think the biggest change was the ownership of the league and the fact that we franchised everything now. The teams used to own their own portion of the league, and it really got to be a burden on the teams individually because they were trying to support the league and support their team. So what happened was the NPF became NPF Media Group, and they have a group of owners right now, and the group of owners owns the NPF, and then the team individuals are franchised.
Oh, I didn't even know that was that
yeah,
change.
it's probably, I think it's modeled after the MLB. But it brings less of the NPF media itself is able to make more decisions with less frustration going back and forth, and it makes decisions better for the league, which then trickles down to better for the teams.
Do you think there'll be a day when softball players will play softball full time? I mean, they won't have to get a part-time job. They won't have to do anything else. This is what they do for a living.
I do think so, and I've thought that from the beginning. There's nothing holding it back besides fan support. People need to fight. The sport is growing unbelievably. I mean, just look at the MWCS, or the National College World Series. WCWS, sorry. The support for that is incredible.
Had the biggest crowds they've ever had this year.
I mean, the support is just incredible. It's so good to see. Those are the same players that are playing in this league. Now, you tell me why somebody doesn't take that in, engulf it, and then support it. So, I mean, but I think it's happening.
You've had more airtime on ESPN, for instance, this year than I've ever seen in the past, so that sounds like a positive sign.
Without jinxing anything, ESPN is silently falling in love with us. We have huge support with Sherry Kempf, our commissioner. She's doing a great job as far as riding that middle road, you know, being a spokesperson for the NPF to ESPN, and then also being the ESPN commentator. So she does her job carefully. She's doing her job very well. Basically, the NPF needs to prove themselves to ESPN, and I think that we will become one of the small stepchildren, you know, where they're going to take us in. And as the interest grows, ESPN's interest will grow.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to come on. I'm real excited about the growth in softball.
Absolutely.
And I really appreciate you taking the time, and I look forward to another victory from you guys today in 2 games, and hopefully we'll win the World Series.
Knock on wood, right?
Yeah, well, thank you very much.
All right, take care.
I hope you enjoyed the interview. Bill was a great guy to chat with. Learned a lot of information talking to him. Now, before I close this show, I want to make sure that everyone who watches this show on their iPhone, iPad, iPod Touch, basically an Apple product, knows about our app. You might be able to use it on the iTV when it comes out, but you can find more information on it at fastpitchapps.com. It does cost $1.99, but what a great way to help support this show. And we do appreciate everybody who helps us. Don't forget to check out our website, like I said earlier, fastpitch.tv. Not fastpitchtv.com, but fastpitch.tv. Become a fan of the show on Facebook at facebook.com/FastPitchTV. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/FastPitchTV. Now, as I stated at the beginning of the show, Softball Junk has an offer for the Fast Pitch TV show family. That's right. Softball Junk is going to give you $20 off any non-sale softball bat on their website till the end of the year. That's right. You can take $20 right off the price of a bat. So the next time you buy a bat from their website, just enter the code FPTV1. Now, you can visit their website, as I said earlier, at softballjunk.com. Now, I don't mind you sharing this information with your friends. Really, I hope you do give them the information about that they can save $20 off a bat, come to watch the show. But that's it. Tell them to come watch the show and get the code for themselves. Don't just give them the code. We're giving you something. Help us back by telling them to come watch the show. Okay? Well, that's it for today. Goodbye, and thanks for watching.